IGNOU MSO-002 Chapter 1 Important Previous Year Questions and Answers. Questions asked are as follows. Sociology is the science of society and discuss a logic of inquiry in social research. What is scientific method? How Auguste Comte established sociology as a science of society. Inductive and deductive logic differentiate with example. Observation in social sciences importance with example. The science of society became possible when it was clear that society is a creation of humans, not a god. A scientific observation is capable of being turned into a higher level of generation. Guiding principle of science is that we can derive valid knowledge from strict rules of evidence which are reliable and valid. Sociology is scientific in the same way as natural science, and even when it do not follow methodology or methods of natural sciences. Auguste Comte, the founder of sociology, followed scientific approach that gave an impetus to sociology to gradually develop into a reflexive science. According to Comte, like scientists studying of natural world discover nature of laws determining the behavior of matters in physical world, we can discover laws which determine people in social world. Comte's science gave idea of positivism. Aim of social science was not to explain existence or cause their being, but was to explain how things related to one another in terms of universal laws. Positive science included observable phenomena through gathering factual knowledge by observation, comparison, experimentation, and prediction. According to Comte, main task of sociology was to discover the general laws of social development, and he divided the general laws into two categories. Law of coexistence or social static govern relationship between different parts of the society, and as such they determined the functions and interrelationship between the various parts. Then second one, social dynamics. Law of succession or social dynamics govern social change, require exploration of the way the nature and function of social institutions changed over time. The first one is law of coexistence, that is static, and the law of succession is dynamic. Comte made some assumption and observation about social development. The first assumption is society passed through a process of evolution. Stage of development passes from simplex to complex and thus become institutionally differentiated, performing specific functions. And the second assumption was incremental differences in societies do not disintegrate them because of mechanism that need to involve one of the other form of mutual dependence. Sociology is developed by systemic observation, collection of data or facts, development of theories to explain the facts. Comte's idea is called inductivism, logic inductivism, and 19th century positivism. Auguste Comte gave three stages of age: the age of religion, the age of metaphysics, and the age of reason. The art of observation itself became a central methodological issue for social scientists, for those who had objective of study of society. Empirists gave primacy to empirical facts as against the logical knowledge of rationalists. Tussle for permanency between empirism and logic is resolved in social science by the need for both to come to a conclusion regarding social reality. Two of understanding social reality are non-deductive and inductive method. One attempts to make sense of what is observed empirically, and one has to rely on a logic for interpretation. Logic cannot be applied in vacuum, it needs some kind of solid referendum. In natural sciences, the object of study have a definite material existence. In social science, only human beings and their manifest behavior is a material, but observation of behavior from outside fields little knowledge about the explanation of behavior. Existence of rationally deductive objective reality is linked to Descartes' duality known as Cartesian duality, division between outer objective reality of the phenomenon and the inner subjectivity of the observer. Aristotle put forward most elementary form of logical inquiry, namely a major premise, a minor premise, and a conclusion. If first two were correct or based on facts, the conclusion would be correct too. This is known as Aristotle's theory of deductive reasoning opposite to inductive reasoning. Deductive. Take few axioms or so-called true statement. Aim of proving other true statements or theorem. Logic is main operating tool. But an inductive method makes many observations about nature. Aim of discovering a few but strong statement about how nature works, what are laws and theories that are back of how nature appears to. Known as scientific method, observation of nature is the main operating tool. Science is inducting by definition. Observation are only valid evidence of truth. Process of science can be deductive. Observation in social science. Observation in natural science depend only on sense of observer. Social science need participation of observed. With every act of observation of society, that we need to refer to more generalized concepts and also meaning systems of actors. True explanation contextualize the observation, meaning, and actors' frame of reference to a larger and a more generalized system of concepts, relationships, and to try to get a true meaning. Inductive data is contextualized by a logical process of deduction. Social scientists devised ways to make observation more meaningful or as it is put more scientific. Nature of data is itself sufficient. Whatever we observe is a construct. Dan Superber argued that there is only one described cultural and social phenomenon, and that is by interpretation. Social scientists interpreted data or basic observation made by anyone. In 18th and 19th centuries, travelers, missionaries, and administrators collected a large part of data, and in 19th century, work was on pure scientific methodology as on nomothetic generalizations. Nomothetic, generalized law, demographic, individual fact, specific event of history. Society to be an object capable of scientific study need to fulfill ethical neutrality